stigma around, we can change that. And I love the idea of a needle exchange program, because if you're gonna do it, like, let's make sure that everyone is safe.
Excellent. Well, we're happy to have you, and there's certainly going to be plenty of opportunities to participate in the development of the Safe Syringe Access and Support Program. We'll get into details on all the different initiatives that are going to be happening, because we're going to have more than enough things to keep everyone in the group as occupied as they could possibly hope to be. So moving on next, Kiana.
Hi, so I am a junior and I'm actually an exercise science pre-physician assistant major. I was pretty interested in this because I actually already work with Project Point at Bob Memorial, which is where I will enroll patients and kind of look at their progress over time for patients that are opioid addicted. So I actually also work really closely with the 2 recovery coaches at Bob Memorial. So I just thought this would be kind of interesting, and I already kind of know a little bit about it and have some resources that I can always talk to and things.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming. Brooklyn. Going once, going twice. Well, Brooklyn, we will come back to you at some point, hopefully. Colin.
She said to chat.
Hello, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So I'm Colin, my camera's not working, I'm sorry. But I am a first-year graduate student studying data science. And Professor Mooney actually forwarded the email from Kaylin, so thank you for that, Kaylin. I guess I want to get involved with S3 because I come from a county that's been impacted by overdoses in recent years. And I just want to kind of do my part to give back and help, and hopefully help out technically, I guess, just to use kind of like what I'm studying here. And I thought it was a good way to get involved and help out.
Oh, absolutely. We are very, very happy to have you here. And whoever said that the chat or something was in the chat, I just saw that my chat was flashing. So Brooklyn says, hey, my video camera isn't working, so I can't use my mic or video. But my name is Brooklyn Newland. I'm a junior majoring in health education and promotion. I'm interested because my degree is about prevention and promoting health, and addiction is something I want to focus on and possibly study in the future. Also, we need more awareness on addiction and what that can look like for different people on campus. So thank you, Brooklyn. And yes, this is not a classroom setting, so nobody's gonna be yelling at you to turn your cameras on or anything like that. I think my thing might have jumped around here, so I hope I don't miss anybody, but let's see, Miles.
Hi, I'm Miles. I am in the Master of Social Work program. It's my first year, and I'm interested in S3 because I want to work with people with substance use disorder. I already do in my professional life, but I want to do in a larger capacity, so this is a great opportunity to do that.
Perfect. Thank you for being here, Miles. Shay.
Hello, hello. My name is Shay. I am a health education and promotion major as well, but I'm actually a senior this year. I was really interested in S3 because I feel like with the health education standpoint of our major, we don't talk enough about addiction. And I think it will be really useful with educating my patients in the future to have more knowledge based in how addiction can affect your life, like not only like in college, but long-term effects of drug usage.
Perfect. Well, thank you for being here. Erin.
Hi, my name is Erin. I am a sophomore nursing major. I am interested in S3 because I want to do, I'm 25, so I've worked in the emergency room in my hometown for the last 4 years, and I've just seen so many people dealing with addiction and overdoses and everything, and so my passion is emergency rooms, and I think this would be great to be able to take in with me in my professional career as a nurse. So I'm just excited to learn and be able to apply it in my everyday life.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I am a second-year elementary education major. I know that's very different, but I'm in College Mentors, and my president asked if anyone would be interested. And I'm interested because I want to be a teacher, as I said before, and I think it'd be really important to know more about addictions, especially when dealing with students who might have parents who have addictions. I personally have a parent with an addiction, and I feel like um, it can help if a teacher can understand a little bit more. So that's why I am here today.
Oh, absolutely. I think most people who come and who are interested in this realize that the impacts of addiction are far-ranging, not necessarily limited to direct practice, for sure. So yeah, I mean, helping people whose parents or relatives are dealing or struggling with addictions is a key part of the work. So yeah, we're happy to have you. Keely, you were up.
Okay, my name is Keely. I am a first-year MSW student. I'm interested because I really have a passion for harm reduction and working on destigmatization.
Excellent. Thank you for being here, Keely. Let's see. I should have gone off my participant list instead of the video cameras. All right, I'm going to try really hard to get this right. Is it Dania? Or Danya? Is that better? Danya. All right. I see. I tried to get fancy with it and it backfired on me, so I apologize.
Oh, you're fine. I'm Danya. I actually just graduated last month, but I applied for the MSW program, so I'm hoping to get in. I'm actually have always wanted to be an addictions counselor. My mom recently, well, the past year, she passed away. And, she struggled with addiction. So I got this email about this meeting. So I was just interested in what it was going to be about.
Excellent. Well, we are excited to have you. And yeah, you chose the right MSW program to apply to then if addiction is what you are looking for sure. Half the department's in here right now. So let's see. Reagan.
Hi, I'm Reagan. I'm a senior in health education and promotion, and I'm interested, like Shay said, our major is a lot about promoting health and stuff, but we don't really learn about addiction. We more learn about healthy lives, like exercising and food consumption. So this is a whole other side that would be really beneficial to the people in our major.
Absolutely. Well, Danica?
Hi, my name's Danica. I am a social work major and I'm a senior this year. I'm interested in harm reduction and stigma.
Excellent. Thank you, Danica. And let's see, I believe, did I get you Savannah? I did get Savannah, didn't I? Yeah, all right. William, you want to give us a hello?
Hi, I'm Bill Betts. I'm the Director of Counseling and Health Services at Ball State. So I'm over the Counseling Center and the Health Center. I'm a psychologist by training, and I was invited, and I'm very interested to see what's going on in the group and see how we can work together.
Excellent. We are pumped to have you here. So Greta, Dr. Moore, well, I guess I should do two first names, Greta and Matt, I guess I'll leave it to y'all with whether or not y'all want to use your fancy titles with this. I will let y'all introduce yourselves when we get to the portion of the discussion where y'all's pictures are displayed. As for me, I'm Dr. Minnick. You can call me Dane. I'm an assistant professor in the social work department and one of the co-organizers of the Addictions Coalition of Delaware County, which this organization is going to be partnering with, along with another initiative called the Peer Project, which Dr. Slater and Dr. Moore are both here representing. Dr. Slater is the director of that, and it's a prevention-focused initiative, which we will detail today. Actually, we're happy to have her here to be able to give us her own words on the project. So Kaylin, if you will jump to the next slide. So what we've kind of established for this initial kickoff meeting, and again, this is going to be, a lot of this stuff is going to be really dependent on y'all. as we've kind of been developing ideas about how to create a student association to address addiction, we've already been formulating some ideas about kind of what it would look like and what some initial projects might be first to get people to the table, because we felt like we needed to have some ideas out there to put in the flyer that we sent to y'all to get people's attention and get them excited to come join on with us. So the initial sort of mission statement that we've put together is that the Student Association for Addressing Addictions, or the S3, represents the student branch of the Addictions Coalition of Delaware County, also known as the ACDC, as well as the Ball State Peer Project. Our mission is to increase the harm reduction, prevention, and treatment capacities within the community of Delaware County, and more specifically on the Ball State campus. So next slide. As you can see here, the mission statement that we have so far directly represents the overarching organization of the ACDC. I won't read it again verbatim because it says essentially the same thing, but is focused more on that county level approach. Go ahead and skip. Well, wait a second. Let me pull it back. There we go. So the ACDC, as I mentioned before, is a community academic partnership. So we have around, it says, we need to update this slide at some point because we've been very active so far. So the ACDC has around 200 total active members right now in the coalition. It's been a growth in terms of community members. So we have contacts in the city council, in the local sheriff's department, at a bunch of different levels that affect drug policy and some drug interventions around Delaware County. There's a number, basically any sort of treatments or addictions related community organization you can think of. I don't know how familiar people will be with local organizations, things like Open Door. I should ask Kaylin or Emily or Danica to start providing the list, since there's, so we have a bunch. Yeah, so they have the Delaware County Prevention Council, which is the primary prevention organization in Delaware County. The Indiana State Epidemiological Outcomes Work Group, the Probation Department. As you can see, there's a long list of coalition partners that the ACDC has developed to this point. Next slide. So there's our fancy pictures that I was telling y'all about. I feel like I look a lot younger in this since it was pre-pandemic, but Jean Marie and Janelle Fowler, Janelle Fowler is from the social work department. Jean Marie is from health promotions. So some of these faces should look familiar to y'all. So we've been running a lot of the activities in terms of the ACDC. Next slide. So now we have our peer project team, which is the other component sort of that we're going to be collaborating with as part of this student organization. So here we have Dr. Slater, Emily and Kaylin, who have introduced themselves. Greta, I will let you, as soon as we get to the peer project is when I'm going to turn the mic over to you to discuss all of those activities. So these are going to be primary members of the S3 and people that we're able to collaborate with and combine to do some great service work around Delaware County and on the Ball State campus. Next slide. So we already have some people to really help with our organization. I know that some of y'all have probably participated in student organizations before, where things get going and then we kind of get bogged down in paperwork. May not necessarily have all of the organizational skills in place, but fortunately for us, Danica, Reagan, and Katie, who's unfortunately not able to make it today because had a different meeting related to the ACDC to attend, are going to be here to help with all things that are S3 related in sort of the overarching sense. Next slide. Oh, I thought we had pictures of you and, or did I already miss that? Well, Kaylin and Emily are going to be representing the peer project. And so all things that are prevention related that this organization are involved in, Kaylin and Emily are going to be able to provide direct assistance on that and are performing that work as part of their graduate assistantships. So we already have an organized team of 5 people that are going to be working on this very, very hard and very intensively. So that means that any projects that students have that they would like to get involved in, that they would like to get developed, if we need things researched, we have a great team in place to help facilitate some of those activities where in some other student organizations, there might not quite be the manpower to get everything accomplished that the group wants to. So for the peer project, Greta, I will let you explain in detail what this component of the S3 is going to mean.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, my name is Greta Slater. I'm the interim chair of the social work department, and I was formerly the director of the MSW program. So I'm pretty excited to see some of you and hear that someone is applying. So that's really awesome. Yeah, so we, as a team, there's an interdisciplinary group from social work, from health, nutrition, and health science. We applied for a grant at the state level from the Family and Social Services Administration, FSSA, and the Department of, DMHA, Department of Mental Health Association. And so the PEER project, it stands for Prevention, Education, Early Screening, and Reduction in Substance Misuse on Campus. So basically the goal is the first year we're collecting some data using the Indiana campus substance use survey, and then another national health survey for campus. We want to get kind of a sort of scope and prevalence of how much and what substances are being used on campus. We are looking to form a student coalition, which is where you guys come in, to try to help do some primary prevention activities on campus, including things like drug take back day. We did one already and collected quite a bit of prescription and over-the-counter drugs. 100 gallons worth, actually 2 giant trash bags worth. So we're going to do drug take back events again on campus and have the student coalition in order to really have student input on driving what kinds of things are happening on campus. So our team includes me, and includes Dr. Moore, who is here. I'll let him introduce himself too. Dr. Minnick, Dr. Trainer, Dr. Jean Marie Place from Nutrition and Health Science, and then of course our lovely GAs who are helping us out, Emily and Kaylin. So my background, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and one of my primary research interests has been with substance use disorder. I'm doing a 5-year evaluation from SAMHSA, which is the Substance Use Mental Health Services Administration, of a treatment program in Indianapolis, and actually there's a couple of other satellite sites, but for women who are pregnant or who have very young babies who are dealing with addiction. So it's a residential treatment center where they can actually keep their babies and their children with them, which is really cool. So anyway, so that's part of my research interest, but I will turn it over to Dr. Moore to talk a little bit about himself too.
Thank you, Dr. Slater. Nice to be with everybody tonight. Thank you so much to those students that were feeling like sharing their personal stories. We certainly appreciate your vulnerability in that moment and your willingness to trust us with some of the things that have happened to your family. And it certainly sheds light on your passion for this particular topic. So my role at Ball State in my now 7th year that I've been there is to oversee our undergraduate social work program. So a lot of familiar faces that I see in this meeting tonight, and also some individuals that have gone through our BSW program and are now in our MSW program. So nice to see some familiar faces. Also great to meet some new individuals from across campus and to see the diversity of professions that are represented in the meeting tonight. So my background in social work is actually in the sports social work field. So I primarily work with collegiate and professional athletes regarding behavioral health aspects, which certainly does tie into the concept of addictions as well. I'm actually at my 2nd job tonight, getting ready to go to weight training practice with my college athletes as a college tennis coach. So that's why I'm burning the midnight oil. I've still got like 2 hours of exercise to go. So if you see me eating fruit snacks and Little Debbie's, it's okay, because I'm going to burn the calories later. So, but I'm excited to be a part of this, to sort of learn more about what Dr. Minnick has got cooking, also to see what type of great things that this group of individuals is going to be able to pull off, and to see how all these different components that we have, from the Peer Project to the other coalitions that we're working with, can partner together to really make a difference in our community. So thanks, Dane, for having me.
Thank you for being here. All right, so y'all might be wondering at this point now, we've talked about the Addictions Coalition of Delaware County, the Peer Project. And so how does this all tie into the Student Association for Addressing Addictions? So in operating or in forming this coalition for student activities, we mentioned that the Peer Project is an FSA grant-funded project to engage in prevention activities on campus. So one of our primary objectives is going to be to help facilitate some of those prevention activities that are occurring. So we're very excited about some things involving prevention, social media campaigns, and things like that. But we will be going, I guess, a little bit more in depth on some of these things here in a second. But the ACDC, so one of the primary goals is going to be to support the ACDC in some of the overall coalition efforts that have been occurring. I know some of y'all mentioned the Needle Exchange program and some of the things that were listed in the flyer. Those are all things that are happening on that level that the ACDC is looking for student support for. So there's a couple of different initiatives. There's a Recovery Cafe Muncie, which is a recovery community, but also brings people together even more so to help them to access services. So in this initiative, the group is going to be looking for volunteers to help run the Recovery Cafe meetings, to help organize them, to help recruit community members to attend the meetings. There's lots and lots of opportunities to get involved for those of you whose passion is really sort of that ground level assistance. We've hopefully going to have some opportunities for some peer recovery coach training. So there's a slight difference in the way that that's worded. I know I had at least one student reach out about the peer recovery coach. And so just to make clear on one of these, there's a peer recovery coach credential that is something that we're going to explore for students, though that one is specific to students who are actively in recovery, where we have a peer recovery coach support credential, which we will explore for those of you who who expressed having family members or wanting to be able to reach out to community members who may be experiencing active addiction, and to provide some of that support through sort of the direct service approach. Those will be some things that we explore on how to get students trained in, depending on the level of interest among people attending the meeting. We have a big second annual Delaware County Substance Use Disorder Symposium coming up, where I'm not sure how much assistance is going to be needed at this point, but we want to be able to highlight the founding of this coalition and the efforts that you guys are going to be able to engage in over this semester and in the semesters to come, for those of you who will not be graduating. And there's a lot of excitement among the members, the 200 some odd members in the community about the formation of the group and what you guys will hopefully be able to accomplish with the help of all the collaborators in the community and the faculty members across campus. There'll be opportunities hopefully for some emotional first aid training. We have a Strengthening Families program we've been talking about. There's actually a whole host of initiatives. I'm not going to overload y'all in this first meeting, and in fact, I want the officers who end up getting elected to be the ones who are able to provide a lot of this information. So this will hopefully be the only meeting where you guys have to hear me speak as much as I am. I know that there's too many of y'all in here that I have in classes who are probably already growing tired of hearing my voice after the 4 some odd hours we spent together yesterday. So thank you for bearing with me on that. So in terms of individual student projects, and this is where we talk about some peer projects and some things that we put out there that we want to see what kind of interest there is. And then also what ideas y'all have that y'all would like to engage in. because this is supposed to be a student-driven initiative, and that is exactly what we want it to be. So again, I want y'all to look at this as ideas and suggestions for projects that can be accomplished, that y'all can put forth, or that y'all can help engage and facilitate. But it is by no means the things that absolutely everybody has to engage in, and this is what's happening. Because as I said before, we will be making nominations for officers, and then you guys will be running the show at that point, and hopefully I will be taking a back seat. So we have our campus prevention campaign, which we are hoping to send all the way across campus. And this really needs to be something that comes from y'all. I know that oftentimes, I'm not going to make everybody raise their hands, but probably a lot of y'all had to undergo the years of DARE, or hopefully maybe y'all are a little bit past that and didn't get the joy of DARE and like the drunk goggles and all of the prevention stuff that was going on there. I will be the first to tell you, as somebody who's an expert in the prevention field, that was a horrible, horrible idea. And that is not what we're going for in our prevention activities. So yeah, do not associate us with that. We are looking to see something that you guys can create that you think y'all will be able to reach students. And as Greta mentioned earlier when we were talking about data, there's a lot of really good evidence-based strategies for creating some of these campaigns that we can put across campus that you guys will be able to come up with. So we're very excited about that. Muncie Community Cleanup Day. There are ACDC collaborators in the community who are looking for assistance with doing community cleanup days. And essentially what that is the same thing that as you would imagine from reading. You go to a certain neighborhood in the area that may have issues with trash, with used needles, all the things that you would think of in terms of rehabilitating neighborhoods. And we get a team of students together to go help clean up the neighborhood and make connections with those community members and potentially even serve as access points for resources, depending on what the expectations are for the area and which groups it is that we're working with. But there have been 2 or 3 different groups that have reached out and asked about that. And I believe this is going to be something that we will also be facilitating as part of the peer project. So there's going to be some great opportunities, again, to do some ground level stuff there. Greta already mentioned our first annual Drug Take Back Day, which she is underselling how spectacular that went. We've had these 2 giant trash bags. We got some awesome pictures with the Muncie Police Department. It was a fantastic effort, which did not have the support of the Student Association with all of y'all's abilities to connect with students and promote events. So I can only imagine how successful the next one will be once we're able to put something like this together. And then finally, one of the other main projects we were talking about is a student prevention and recovery community. So this is, when you think of this, if we think about students that are looking to engage socially with their classmates or with their peers, make friends, but don't want to necessarily go hang out at the bar scene, or they're trying to avoid ending up in situations where they may be around drug use, because I mean, obviously we know that college campuses have that taking place. Oftentimes, students that are trying to seek out that sort of connection will have trouble finding it outside of religious organizations. So one way to be able to facilitate those sorts of connections and offer students an opportunity to make friends and to have, social networks and things like that that don't involve drugs or alcohol is to create a secular prevention and recovery community. So basically just a large social network where we can plan events for students that want to go hang out, go to bowling alleys, do whatever you crazy kids are doing these days, just do it in a drug and alcohol free environment. So it's most of these are really simple interventions that we can implement, but are shown to be highly effective whenever you put them on campus. So again, this is part of the peer project activity. So this is our FSSA funded activities. So we're very excited to be able to partner and bring in students to help facilitate some of these activities. Next is our ACDC projects, and there is the Safe Syringe program that I referenced earlier. We have currently that initiative is in the proposal phase. So in Delaware County, or well, in Indiana in general, it is technically illegal to have a needle exchange program without getting the county to declare a Hep C or HIV emergency. To do that, you have to put together proposals, you have to work with county health officials and get them to declare that proposal, and then you have to work with providers to find funding for the needle exchange programs. And generally, you have to do a lot of advocating to get the community on board. To get approval for the program takes lots and lots of work and lots of support. So as I mentioned, that is in the proposal phase right now, and I know that we had several people reach out about wanting to be involved with that. And so there are planning meetings that happen, and people that are interested in that can make a really big difference in terms of helping to craft these proposals and gain support, community support to get this program implemented. Because this is lots and lots of work on that one. Another project that we proposed that y'all might want to consider once you have your officers and sort of a direction established is looking into developing a student safe ride initiative. So the two universities that I attended for my undergraduate, master's, and PhD, the way that they ran this is students who lived on campus, and y'all will probably be more familiar with this than me being students, generally lived in housing that was very closely grouped together. And then those students would travel to bar districts. What are the Ball State bar districts? I don't know. I've never been to a bar in Ball State, so I couldn't tell you. But are there bar districts that are kind of localized that are the primary locations?
There's actually only one here on campus. It's in the village, like maybe like a 3-minute walk off of campus.
All right, I've heard people talk about the village, and I guess that clicks a little bit more now. So in this case, in the case of the other university I went to, they had the university buses that would run from the village to the student housing and back and forth to ensure safe rides for students. The way that I was looking at this initially, because I don't know how prone the administration here will be for that, and I don't know what the logistics are in terms of where students are living on campus and so on and so forth, is looking at the creation of a student safe ride initiative, which has happened at other campuses where it's student volunteers who basically take weekends and serve as a contact point to provide safe rides to students home from bars. Obviously, there is a lot of logistics that go into this. We have to think about safety. We have to think about cost for the cost of cleaning the cars if any accidents happen, all sorts of things. But so this is another big project, but that can make a gigantic difference on campus that we've been looking at. So these are just the peer project is obviously something that we are going to definitely be working on, as Kaylin and Emily are going to be taking lots of responsibilities in terms of helping to facilitate this, and so reaching out to each of you for your ideas and ways to contribute. But in terms of all the other initiatives and new ideas, this is where I really want to be able to get y'all's get an idea of what y'all's thoughts are for how y'all would like the organization to run, where things are going to go. And Aaron, you can actually skip to the next slide. We covered all that one. And ideas for, basically the overall direction of the organization. So we'll get to feedback and things like that. The last thing that I think want to mention on this before I'm able to finally stop talking and pass the floor over to y'all is just like any other student organization that's formalized on campus, there's certain requirements for that organization. This will be brand new. So to fulfill the obligations of the university, we need a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer. Now, with all the projects that are taking place right now, there's obviously lots of openings for official positions that you are going to be able to list on your CVs as building blocks for future job opportunities and things like that. And then ways to get really really involved in the organization and projects that pique your interest and to take on leadership roles in these initiatives. So we have, for instance, chair positions to serve as a representative to the needle exchange program. Somebody to chair the Safe Ride initiative, if that is an idea that students are wanting to investigate once y'all are in your positions of power. Students who want to take over the prevention media campaign. Obviously, Kaylin and Emily will be playing a key role in that. But having an official non-GA member will be spectacular if anybody is really inclined to focus on some of that prevention work. I know somebody said that they had some, what was it? I think it was Colin said that they had some technical skills that might be really beneficial towards this project. The community cleanup days, again, drug take back days, these are all organizational activities where you're going to be reaching out to people and doing some planning. But there is more than enough opportunities for everyone to get as involved as they could ever possibly want to be. And then obviously we will need a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer for people who are good with administrative skills and want to, oh, there we go, and are really looking to take on the overall sort of leadership positions. So now we can go to the next slide, and I think I can give my voice a rest for a little bit. So based on all the large amount of information that I've just thrown at y'all, and I know it is a lot to digest, if there are questions, comments, discussions, ideas, proposals that y'all would like to just throw out on the table right now in terms of initiatives that you'd like to see happen on campus, now is the time to provide your thoughts and for me to really turn things over to y'all. Oh man, I know some people have some thoughts out there, but we get in a large group. Oh, there we go. All right, we got one in the chat box. What are the responsibilities of each position? So that is going to go into our Constitution, which the role, actually, Emily, you are the one who, or Emily and Kaylin, y'all are the ones who helped draft this Constitution. Can you speak a little bit about the roles for each of the members? You don't have to talk about the chairs. I'll reference the chair positions, but for president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, the way that things are listed in the Constitution right now, as written, obviously, prior to approval by the group.
Okay, so I have it pulled up on my screen, and while writing the Constitution, it says, well, I included that the president shall serve as the spokesperson for the organization, obviously attend organization and executive board meetings when they don't present in conflict with the class, ensure that the organization is operating with the university association guidelines, policies, and procedures, and the vice president, they're essentially being the president's like right-hand woman or man and doing the same things. Did you want me to go over the secretary and treasurer too? So secretary, they're going to attend those meetings, the executive board meetings as well. They're going to record all of them, so hopefully throughout Zoom we can do that and then save that to a folder and also take the meeting minutes. Moving on to treasurer, the treasurer will also be there at all those meetings, common theme, and carry out the financial transactions of the association and just kind of balance and maintain those records. And you didn't want me to share about the chairs, right?
No, so the chair, all right. So the chairs will be, depending on the nature of the position. Obviously, hopefully some of y'all will present some ideas that you want to see implemented and be able to put those to be able to put those forward to the group and then chair the creation of those ideas and help to push everything forward. In terms of the chair positions, for instance, for the needle exchange program, that would mean attending the needle or the SSP planning meetings, and then reporting back to the group on the activities that are happening. Because while we may have individual chairs and things like that, the overall activities of the coalition encompass all of the activities that everybody is engaging in. So the organization itself and all of you as members, after we get rolling with things, we'll be able to say, yes, I'm participating, and be able to list, you know, the 8 or 9 different activities that we already have listed here in terms of improving the service delivery capacities on campus. For presidents, they will be required to obviously attend executive board meetings between the secretary, the treasurer, the vice president, and the president, who are able to determine the overall direction of the organization and handle any internal issues in the S3. And then they will also be attending the ACDC planning meetings and the peer project planning meetings, since those are our 2 primary collaborators as the S3. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, there's 200 some odd coalition members who are faculty across Ball State and service providers and community residents in Delaware County and areas surrounding Ball State who are very excited to see and hear about what activities y'all are going to be engaging in. So that is a great way to keep them apprised of what's going on, and as a way to let us know if there are ways that we can assist them with projects, because us as being somewhat of a primarily a helping organization and trying to create some of these addiction service capacities on campus, this is a great outlet for us to be able to expend some of our energies and really make a difference in the community. So yeah, obviously the positions with the chairs will be dependent on what those groups are when they're meeting, things like that. But it will be serving as the organizational centerpiece for each one of those activities. Any other thoughts, comments, feedback?
How do the nominations and things work for this?
That is a good question. So depending on how many people we were going to have here today, I was thinking that we would potentially be able to have them while we were here, but there are far too many of y'all that have come to even make that a possibility right now. And plus, I want to give people a chance to consider whether or not they're wanting to make the time commitment and how involved they want to be. So we will be sending out an email where you can either nominate somebody or nominate yourself. I imagine it will probably be the latter, since this will be a decision that you are making. Though if somebody wants to nominate Keely to something, since she's the one that raised this issue, I fully endorse doing so. You'll be great in whatever position they nominate you for. And then at our next meeting, we will hold votes on that. There'll actually be a number of issues. We had something else planned to show. We were going to show off our new logo here, but again, there's just I'm really excited to see the number of students that have shown out or shown up to the meeting. I guess shown out as well. Because it has exceeded my expectations, particularly because we have a couple of students that weren't able to make it tonight even. So as an initial kickoff meeting with the way things are going, this is a spectacular start for a student organization. So again, I'm super excited. So other questions, thoughts, comments?
I did want to say too, Emily will be sending out a link in the chat box to a quick survey, and that'll just make it easier for us to all contact each other. So it'll ask like your name, your email, a few demographic questions that we have to ask for the peer project. And then there will also be some questions too about like identifying what areas you may be interested in. So kind of keep that in mind too, like after you've heard all this, like you can always say in there if there's something that you're really excited about and would want to be involved in. and maybe you aren't looking for a leadership position right now, that may be a good idea to select so we have an idea of what to include you in for emails.
So there's, let's see here. So I was going to say, we're not going to go any further in the slideshow because I want to save some stuff for y'all to be able to have surprises when they have votes on logos and things like that for the next meeting. So in terms of what will be happening next, because I know we are running close to the end of the meeting. I don't want to keep anybody past an hour. But so our initial steps that are going to be happening is people are thinking about what kind of positions they want, where they want to, what kind of ideas they want to propose. If there's things already in place that they want to participate in, Kaylin, Emily, and the other GAs and ACDC practicum students are already working on formalizing the organization with the university. This is going to be attending workshops. You have some paperwork to fill out. You have meetings with the Benny Leak ambassador. So they'll be working on that. So the next steps in terms of y'all is filling out. So Kaylin, you said you put that in the survey or the survey in the chat box, correct?
Emily, did you go ahead and add that link?
Yeah, did everyone get it? Okay.
Everybody see it? So yes, so we need that filled out in the chat box. And then the other, we're gonna have two things to fill out. The other thing that we want you to do is so that the ACDC knows how to reach everyone is to fill out, and this is also going to be a cool thing. It's not my screen. This is one of the few times, I guess, being in the teaching role, I always forget when I'm not the one sharing the screen. So in the, and I sent that just to Emily. Emily, you're already aware of the website, so you don't need to see that again. So in the chat box, I put in the official, the Addictions Coalition of Delaware County website. So people who are in leadership roles in this, your chairs will have, we're gonna have an entire page dedicated to the S3 and the peer project activities and the things that you are working on. So I highly suggest checking this out because y'all's organization is gonna be featured prominently on here. Ooh, don't show the logos yet. We got to save that for next week. You can't spoil anything. And the other thing that I want everybody to do to make sure that y'all get all access to all of the resources that are available to y'all as members of the S3 and as members of the overall Addictions Coalition of Delaware County is to register with the organization up there where it says well, y'all are pretty tech savvy. It says join our roster, so I'm pretty sure that y'all will be able to figure that one out. So sign up there. I know it's a lot to ask for 2 links, but again, I hope everybody is getting the sense that this isn't going to be a standard student organization. We have a lot of drive, we have a lot of help, and we can accomplish a lot of things. So we really want ideas from each of the members and ways to get y'all involved and to get y'all excited about the things that are going to be happening. Let's see.
Can I add something really quick, if that's okay? I was just thinking about this while the other GAs and interns and I are working on getting us like approved and to become a legitimate on-campus organization. This will give students the opportunity to like spread the word. So even though we're not official right now, just spreading the word to like anyone who's interested, that would really help us out a lot. And I can speak as a kind of a Ball State undergrad like alum that I've been involved in a few like student organizations, and I can tell already that this is going to be different. Like there's so much support here. We have so many good resources, and we have people here right now who shared like, oh, I have a connection to this, or like if you need anything, I can contact them. And it's going to be a really, I think it's just going to be a really good turnout every single time. And also we're going to make a lot of good progress in our little bubble of Ball State, but also the community of Delaware County.
Absolutely. Thank you, Emily. I mean, I think you're hitting everything right on the head, and obviously are better at speaking than I am, because that was much more eloquent than any description I have given so far. So thank you for that. Right there on the link, we actually have already worked on developing some social media sites. There is a Facebook page. Danica, we have a Twitter too. Yep, the BSU S3. Yes, so we have a Facebook page and a Twitter. I would recommend go ahead and getting signed up for that. And so the last thing is, I suppose, so for the next meeting, which we will, in a poll, since again, there's so many of y'all, we will poll everybody about how often everyone would like to meet, what days work best. I guess in that poll also, we'll ask if you're interested in a leadership position. So you'll be able to fill that out as well. And we will include the proposed logos for the S3 and have y'all vote on that as well, so we can reveal that at the next meeting. And then it'll be very helpful if everybody considers, new ideas on things that they want to see accomplished and ways that we can continue to grow this. Because next meeting, I will, at the very beginning, announce we will do the voting, and then I will pass the floor off to our newly elected officers, and you guys will be able to take it away at that point. So very, very excited. It's 6:58, 2 minutes left. Anybody have final comments, thoughts? Is anybody already thinking about running for a position? I can't see very many people on there, so hopefully at least we got a couple people raising their hands. But all right. Well, I want to thank everybody again for coming out. We're very excited to have everyone on board, and again, very excited for the things that hopefully will be coming in the future. So check out the website, check out the Facebook links. Be looking for our email with the links with the logos and applying for a leadership position and so on. Again, hopefully this will be the last. That'll be the last survey that we make y'all fill out for a while. I think we'll be good after that. I know everybody gets surveyed out. But everybody take care. I'm going to put my email address in the. Oh yeah. So I will be the faculty liaison. So while y'all won't have to hear me speak a ton, you will have to see me, unfortunately, at all of these meetings, which. Hopefully we'll develop a strong working relationship. I'm not so bad to be around. I like to play around a lot, but all right. So my email is in the chat box. Please feel free to reach out to me. And otherwise, again, thank y'all for coming, and enjoy the rest of y'all's week.